businessman will be businessman. Yes, you're there to make money. You're not there to run a charity. And the regulator creates regulation for sake of what they believe is right. But I'll give you a very simple example. Halal food, you would assume halal is common, this same common principle across the region. It's not. Saudi Arabia defined halal differently what the rest of GCC defined. And just few years ago, the same chicken being imported from Brazil could not come into Saudi, where it was coming the rest of GCC. So what does the company do? They decided that the only way to avoid this was they still had to supply, make money. They said, okay, we'll bring the chicken, send it to UAE, cook it, and send it as processed food now. And it's coming in a different processed food, so it was halal now. So that processed food was not facing the same test. So semi-cooked and it went through and it was additional cost, but they had to keep it going. They couldn't afford to lose the market share.
So you say you start with honesty, then you end with honesty, but in between it's okay.
But this also have the regulations are all different for these kinds of things. So if you got Malaysia or Saudi,
it's a very different game.
Yeah. So it could be compliant for one country, not compliant for another.
But this is exactly what I was trying to put across, that if you look at governance, most of it is defined by processes. If I run my systems and processes well, I can mostly, kind of run governance well. The problem occurs in gray zones. The decision making in gray zones, and that's where culture is at play, of course. But how do I enable? So people are in the industry or within the organizations. If I want to drive governance as a theme or regulatory, making sure that I'm compliant to all local regulations. A lot of decisions are being made at a micro level. Almost every employee is making hundreds of decisions every day. And at least 30% of them will be in that gray zone. So if I have 1,000 employees, daily I am actually getting into at least 30,000 risky decisions, which are in that gray zone. Despite having best of regulations, despite having best of processes. How do I enable those decisions which are in that gray zone? Right? Culture and behavior. And that's it. I cannot govern a large organization or even a medium-sized organization without enabling my people in the gray zone where they are compliant. It's not the industry the issue is, it's not the company which is compliant. It's each individual being compliant to the requirements of the regulation.
It's driven primarily by the culture of the organizations. For the MNCs like Bank of Singapore, you have a well-set process which is run by MNCs, so that's done easily. Most difficult for the non-MNCs, the family-owned business, the individual-owned businesses. Now, what happens? You try to put a governance structure in your organization, but at the top, the owner or the CEO, they are trying to dupe money with the suppliers, with the customers, with the government, trying to save tax here, there. You're trying to do taking risky decisions, trying to do, and you expect your employees and your team to follow everything which is governance. It doesn't happen. If he sees you cheating, he will start cheating you, right? So it's all about culture which cascades on. You have to lead by example. So it's extremely difficult. It's relatively easy for MNCs, not that easy, but for family-owned business, extremely difficult.
I think on that front, it's the same. No? The problem is the same. End of the day, it comes as a tone from the top. Right? It doesn't matter whether it's
big or small. Brutally honest now.
It doesn't matter whether it is big or small. I think even large organizations have the same issues.
Absolutely.
Right? So I think culture drives the organization.
Culture drives
irrespective of the size.
Many large global companies also had issues, like they all have been punished because of wrong practices, because the wrong leader was setting the wrong example.
Yeah, and I think this global citizen. So what is the behavior of a citizen? Compliance, right? I mean, I will be a citizen of a country till the time I'm compliant to that law or the framework, and therefore the trust. So all of these things are actually well knitted in the sense that trust, the leadership, the culture, and I willing to be a global citizen and trusted citizen is all very, very important. If I'm short term, I only want to make money in that particular geography, naturally I'll not be stable. I'll be out very soon. If I want to play a long-term game, I have to be the trusted citizen, and that's how it works. Yeah.
Very interesting. And when I was listening to all of you, I was trying to segment it a bit, and my segmentation was that we talk about 2-3 points. One is the business as usual, so operational part. So it requires control, it requires a particular culture, it requires processes to be set up. And then there is a new area which the organization has not gone into. And we talked about agility, going into a new country, going into managing a new environment. We don't have processes set up for that. It requires going and driving that business and agility. And what kind of mechanisms we should put in place probably are too different for the first one and the second one, right? So the culture bit is also very different for the first one and the second one. The first one is more about how do we continue to do what we are doing so well. And the second one is how do we start doing things in a very new way, which we have not been doing well. I think the culture bit also changes. And that is where we probably require change and building a new culture in a new geography. And when there is a lot of multipolarity, when organizations work in multiple geographies, managing organizations and the culture of the organization globally, is it the same culture? Is it a culture that is very different across geographies? Is it very different across various functions? I'm just segmenting based on what I understand from all of you. Any thoughts on this before I ask the last question?
So you want me to pick up that? I have a quick, very. So you've touched upon something that is very primordial. I would say that culture comes from religions. All right, that religion was created way long ago. We've got multiple religions, etc. And then from there, culture flow. All right, everything goes back to whatever was earlier. Right, we built a certain system and we said honesty. That's an integrity, right? This is the primary pillar of anybody's conscience. It's a primary pillar of anybody's conscience, right? You have that honesty and you have that integrity in all religions, all cultures, everywhere. I mean, it is just, that seed is already there in human beings. All that it needs is nurturing. It has to be nurtured in the right way. I mean, I think that's primary. If it is not nurtured, and there are multiple people with different thought processes, not cultures, right? Culture, religion, everything is all almost the same. But the thought process, right? It says, example, that's so I don't want to go into detail of that, but that's the only thing that changes. So in that thought process, if we can put honesty into it, integrity into it, and say, this is the right thing. I mean, don't do anything bad for anybody else, right? That's basic. So if that works, then things will, it's easier said than done, but.
Well, I think the company that I work for, right? It is a multinational company. It has got 30 different verticals. Hotels is only one part of it, right? And this is a company which is known for its governance. It is known for its compliance.
Known for trust.
Known for trust. So no better example than that. I didn't want to talk about it because all my colleagues here are very well versed with the company and what it stands for. But it all comes down to your culture. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. Your culture is right, everything else falls in place. Point number one. Your values are extremely important. So our values, for example, are, I'm not promoting my company, I've not mentioned the name also, but our values are integrity, pioneering, unity, responsibility, So these are the values that we stand for. Taj, these are the Tata values which I said earlier. Now Taj values are trust, awareness, and joy, right? And now it comes, how do you cascade it down to your employees? So right from the word go, before a person, employee is hired, he comes in, is integrated. We have a fantastic program called the Swagat, right? So they go in through the trainings, and then we have weekly trainings, then we have monthly trainings. Some trainings you have to do once in a year. So it's a process that keeps on going. So culture, value, followed by, somebody said, communications and proper training, leads to a proper governance. And of course, it's from, it flows with a gravitational force from top to bottom.